The strange disappearance of Lud Folk, from being one of the hottest rappers dropping songs with Uzi and Dirt to having been on the internet in over 2 years. I'm here to solve the question, where is Lud Folk? Second video in a row I'm doing on a rapper from Chicago. Born July 15, 1996, Lud was always around some music. Way back when he was like 4, he was rapping. Then growing up, he was surrounded by his cousin who made music himself. And that was one of the first people in his life to help him get into making music. But what really got him locked in was when he met someone. Lud was just at the tattoo shop talking to the artist about life. Him and the artist, they knew each other for a while. He knew that Lud made music. He knew Lud was a rapper, all that. So he started questioning him like, how your music going? And around this time, Lud was locked in. He had the mindset that I don't have nothing else to do, so I'm about to be in here writing these raps, recording, doing what I can. And after telling the tattoo artist how he felt, the artist said he had a producer on the way to get a tat right now and told Lud that he need to tap in with bro. And it was like when the producer Kid Wonder stepped in, they was cool off rip. They started talking, and after a while, Kid Wonder was like, look, I got a whole studio, come tap in with me tomorrow. And this opportunity would change bro life. He recorded his first song and everything with Kid Wonder, but Lud ain't really take music serious yet. He still had too much going on. Around this time, he was getting locked up 24/7. It was like he was in the loop, getting locked up, getting bond, getting locked up, getting out on bond. It just kept happening. But his first situation that made him have to sit was way back when he was in high school. So the day started out normal until he got into it with somebody he wasn't cool with. They started arguing. Then it turned to fighting. And so they were just scrapping until a teacher came and broke it up. But the thing about this teacher, he was real cool with the boy Lud was fighting. So when the teacher came and grabbed Lud, he held him in a position to where the other boy could get some licks in. And Lud realized this off rip and got free, stole off on the teacher, and then him and the teacher got to fighting. So he get to fighting with the teacher, and when this happened, everybody started coming in. First, it was the teachers, then the principal came in. But when this principal came in, trying to break it up, bro stole off on the principal too. Lud said he was already done for it. He already beat up a teacher, so he was like, I'm already going to jail. You getting hit too. But this wasn't his first time raising hell in school. Another time, Lud was in class, right? And he get into it with somebody else. But keep in mind, where they at, classroom, Lud picked up a chair and smacked dude with it, and they got to fight. And when the guards came and broke up the fight, they locked him in the class. He said it was one standing outside the door and it was one standing inside the classroom. So Lud seen her thinking, if I don't get out of here, I'm going to jail. So he tried to get out that door. They tell him no. So he turned around and hopped out the window. He looked at it like this: either they gonna come toward me while I'm trying to get out that window and I run out the door, or they let me jump out this window. And you know what happened. They let him get out that window and he ran home. But the school problems keep going. He had always been in behavior schools, and the one he was at allowed teachers to restrain you if they need to. So basically, they can put their hands on you if it really come down to it. When he first got there, his mama did sign them papers giving them permission. And you seen how these other situations went. You know he wasn't going for that. And he ain't really say, but you can imagine when the teachers was trying him, he wasn't going. But all these situations lead back to the start, cause these was really the start of him getting locked up, or really the start of his history with 12. The first bad experience he got into with 12 was when he got into a high-speed chase. Eventually, they caught him, and when they did, they put the beats on bro. But keep in mind, this was all happening before he was even 18. His teen years was filled with so much craziness, from fighting all them teachers to getting shot at for the first time, then having to sit in juvie for over a year at 15. Bro life had so much going on that young, and Lud even said back then he was brainwashed by the Chicago streets. Being honest, this one of the first rappers I ever heard come out and say something like this. He realized he was in a bad situation and wanted to get out of it. He realized the streets was turning him into a bad person. You know, a lot of rappers would embrace and glorify it, but he knew how that affected him. But all that brings us back to the point where he met the producer, Kid Wonder. This was right around the time Lud was in and out of jail, like I said, and Wonder had him coming in and out the stool all the time. And one of these sessions they had was life changing. This session was different though. They wasn't at the stool, they was at Lud's pop's house. And this day they was going crazy. They made about 4-5 songs. Was in that mode for real. But one of these songs would be the song that would put Lud on, Cutting Up. And when it dropped, it blew up, hit 12 mil off rip. Then not too long after that, Drake put it on his radio, OVO Sound. And this song still kept going up after all that. Dirt ended up remixing Cutting Up. But while everything was looking good for Lud, a problem came up. Him and his engineer had fell out. But the thing about this engineer was that he had all of Lud's songs, every single one they recorded together. And this engineer was petty, real petty, and started leaking Lud for songs. And one of these songs he leaked, he sent it to Rap Ketchup. And when he did, he told him it was a Chief Keef diss. And you know how the internet get, had everyone saying there was beef. But before it could even get serious, Lud shut it all down. He called Chief Keef cousin Tato and talked to Keef, basically shutting it all down. But for a while, his life was going good. It was like every song he dropped was just going up, at least touching a meal. But everything would change on this one night. Lud was at the Hillside Bowling Alley in Chicago, and he was with the bros. The night was good. They was just happy and turned. But when it was time for them to go, they all hopped in different cars. Keep in mind, around this time it was like 2 to 3 a.m. So the roads was kind of empty, just some big trucks here and there. But as he was driving, one of these big trucks pulled up beside him. I'm talking about big ass 18-wheeler. And Lud said whenever a truck that big get next to him, it give him real bad anxiety. So him just trying to be safe, he sped up and hopped in front of the truck. That made the truck driver feel some type of way. And when Lud hopped in front, the truck started tailgating with the high beams on. Really think about it. Big 18-wheeler right behind your car with their high beams on. Lud said he could barely even see. But Lud, thinking smart and still wanting to be safe, he just got back in the left lane. He was like, I'm not finna sit in front of this truck and it's acting how it's acting. So he get back in the lane. But when he did, the truck slowed down right with him, and the driver let his window down, threw it the bird. Lud was like, what? So he let his window down, threw it up back, and tried to speed off. But as soon as he stepped on the gas, the truck swerved into his lane, trying to run him off the road. And when he did, Lud slammed on the brakes and made him lose control of the car. And as soon as he did, he fainted. His homeboy said after he lost control, the car just started flipping. They said the car flipped at least 9 times. But as the car was flipped, Lud flew out the back window. And as soon as he did, it woke him up. I'm guessing all that air just hit his face and woke him back up. All he remember is looking down and falling on his hands and chin. The truck ended up driving off. But remember how I said his friends was in different cars? They was right behind him and seen everything. They couldn't even find him at first, but when they did, they rushed him to the hospital. But when he woke up the next day, he ain't even really remember what happened that night. But what he did realize off rip was that his jaw was wired shut and both of his wrists was broke. After the situation, Lud sat and thought and said what he think kept him alive was the fact that he ain't have his seatbelt on that night. He said when they looked at his car, it was crushed, and if he would have had his seatbelt on, he would have never flew out the back of the car. But it was more than that. He said he was also on the X pill. He said that kept his heart beating. If you do your research, the X pill do make your heart beat fast. Even though them was the circumstances, at the end of the day, he gave his thanks to God. He said he blessed to even be living. Imagine how he was feeling though. He was blessed to be alive, but he was also mad at the truck driver at first. He was like, how he gonna do this to me and drive off? But later he realized that ain't matter, cause at the end of the day, he was alive. But Lud was on his Kanye time, and 4 days after getting in the wreck, he got back in the studio. Keep in mind, jaw wired shut.
If I got my voice, my freedom of speech, I got the opportunity to make a song, so that's what I'm gonna do.
But around this time was when Lud slowly started to disappear. He dropped a tape in 2018 and just disappeared. But during this time, a lot started to come out. A rapper named SG Batman came out and had something to say.
You wanna play with me? I'm gonna let the world know you a and you scatter and you run. All they being quiet about the situation for years. You wanna play with me? I'm gonna let the world know you a and you scatter and you run all that gangster you be talking. No.
He came out talking crazy. Basically said he was writing for Lud for.
He talk about is a lie. You wanna know how I know this about is a lie? Cause I wrote half of this shit talk about. I'm sorry if I ruined any one of y'all dreams and plans of the old Lil folk coming back. You will never see the old Lil folk. Because, bitch, you play with me, I am the old Lil folk. I'm the new Batman, old Batman, and old Lil folk. I'm sorry, y'all. I broke y'all dreams. 2021 finna start out bad.
But a year or two after saying this, he came out in their interview and had this to say.
They say you was writing raps for Lil Folk. Is that true?
Somewhat. I ain't gonna just give myself total catalog credit.
He came at Lud like this. Then later on stepped back. You can't start out talking like that and then take it back. He said he would just help him out sometimes, give him a bar here and there, or would just help make the song better, adding a few words, doing this, doing whatever he had to do. But he cleared it up and said he didn't write no songs for Lud Folk. He just helped out. But Batman said their problems came from when he started to come up in the rap game. He said when Lud seen him coming up, he felt some type of way. He was like, I'm the only one supposed to be doing this. Now, whether he really telling the truth or not, we don't know. But what is said is that Lud breaking his jaw was most likely the reason he stepped away from the game. But it probably get deeper than that. Remember the interviews I showed you before where he was saying he was brainwashed by the streets and he probably ain't want to be associated with none of that no more. He probably didn't want to be associated with the rap game or any of these rappers, anything like that. 2020, he dropped his last tape, and after that, he took everything off his IG and disappeared off the internet until recently. The past year or two, there's been some clips of him here and there on the phone or with people in the studio. Whether he gonna actually come back rapping or just stay where he at, only time will tell. But at least he ain't in as bad of a situation as the rapper from my last video, who turned the entire rap game on him overnight. Really over one mistake he'll probably regret for the rest of his life, and that vid is right here.